Hey Vegas.
Hi, good morning, everyone.
Good morning. What's going on?
Oh, lots. Market mayhem here. And, puts are printing today, so nice to, unfortunately trade these puts. Nobody likes to see markets tanking, but opportunity to make money. So you just gotta, I love being a bull, but I had to be a bear. So definitely these swing puts have printing today. And we could see a lot of volatility, obviously, as a result of this CPI information and markets reacting to that. So, yeah, definitely. We're seeing the consumer confidence also hit a record low today as well. So, and crude oil turned green on the day today, too. So, oil's really strong, but everything else is just pulling back.
Uh, yeah, so we did. I think you kind of inferred it there. Got that larger than expected CPI print, so we can kind of talk about that. But yeah, oil pulling back a little bit. Everything pulling back a little bit here. I'm watching Tesla and Amazon. Let's see. Amazon maybe will rebound a little bit before another leg down here. But yeah, there's some really good stuff going on here. For those that are playing to the downside, I've been seeing a lot of people making money this morning. What about you, Kim?
Good morning. How is everyone?
Good, good.
Uh, so, what I've been really excited about was the Amazon split. And, there's a lot of talk that, it's the same piece of the pie and, it doesn't mean anything. But what it does mean for me is that I can actually sell covered calls because I didn't have 100 shares of Amazon. So now I have, multiple hundred shares because of the split. So it's been really great because I'm able to protect my stock now. So I've sold the 120 July 15 calls. And then what I did is I did what's called a hedge wrapper. And so I sold those calls and bought the puts at the 110 strike, which it's almost there right now. And I took in a credit for that. So even if Amazon flies back up through my 120 strike, I still won't lose money on the trade. I obviously the risk is I would turn over my stock. At the same time, I have profits on Amazon. So I'd still be making money. And I took in a credit, so I didn't pay for those puts. I really believe that they're going to try to push Amazon down below 100. So I'm just really excited because now I can finally protect my Amazon um, shares. So right now, those are up nicely this morning. The covered calls have come in and the puts are making money right now. And I usually go 30 to 45 days out. So I may day trade it or, if it comes in nicely, but at the same time, I'm, giving it time to work out. So today was just a fortunate day where, the market went down. And honestly, covered calls right now with a sideways market have been the best play for me. Just keep selling premium against my stock, bringing down my cost basis. I did that against Marvel, against Qualcomm, against Microsoft, against UPS. I own all those stocks. So AMD. Um, so yeah, and all those I'm taking in a credit.
Yeah, absolutely. Protecting some of that downside.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean that makes a lot of sense, and that is one of the benefits, I suppose, to the stock splits is allowing for that kind of broken system a little bit with options all around. But it does make sense that once the share size comes down smaller, you can own more shares. Kind of weird that it doesn't work with the fractionalization of shares. So that is like the one real main difference.
Well, yeah, when when the stock's too expensive, most retail and buyers can't own 100 shares of it. So, plus the bid asks were getting so wide on Amazon, and now they've really tightened with that split. So, they're basically 5 cents apart, maybe 10 cents apart versus before, they were $10 to $20, $30 apart. So, and it was harder to get filled on Amazon when the price was so high. So I was trying to do butterflies or different strategies to protect my stock to the downside. But it was harder to get filled because the spreads were so wide. And now that they've come in, I just get filled immediately.
Got it. Yeah, that's interesting as well. Okay, so better fills and able to sell covered calls. Awesome, Kim.
Mm.
Appreciate that. What's up, Stacky?
Hey, I haven't actually looked at the market today, so I came in here to see what was going on with the market. What's up, Vegas?
Hi, Miss Stacky. How are you? Nice to see you. Nice to
I
hear
miss
you.
you.
Love the energy. What are you trading?
I'm not trading nothing yet. I'm just sitting here trying to figure out what we doing today. Vegas, I mention you every time I go into a spaces about some of the best traders I know. So
Well, thank you so much. We always
don't
appreciate
don't
your
don't
support.
start blushing behind your PFP.
We love your support and always love having you here. Love your vibe, love your energy, and love everything that you do also too in the different markets, OTC,
I'm
NFTs.
everywhere.
You're everywhere. Definitely should everyone make sure if you're listening to Stack Robinson, follow her because she's all over. She's into everything. So she's a great follow and a great motivator too. So I love this woman. She's awesome.
Oh, thank you, Vegas. But what's going on in the market today? I heard CPI today.
Yeah.
CPI is nasty, and just have these QQQ puts from yesterday. Had the 280 puts overnight, paid a dollar, and
Jeez.
a 108 for June 17 QQQ puts, and those are printing. Those are far from the money, but maybe we'll get there. 280 puts for June 17. They're going now for 279, but the real nice one was the one that we have here for overnighter, 298s, and those are over $8 right now. So we paid 221. So those are
Let's go
nice.
Vegas.
Nice money, nice money. I hate collecting money sometimes on when the market's tanking. I'm like, oh, I feel bad for the stock, but I'm like, you know what? You got to move the emotions, So, yeah, nasty pull down too.
I know, not just for the stock, just the market period. Oh
Yeah,
my
everything's like
goodness.
looking weak. Watching here on this watch list here for today, Amazon looks weak. I know that Kim was just talking about Amazon, and definitely, like, I wouldn't be surprised today. She's saying that she could see this eventually go to 100. Yeah, wouldn't be surprised. I mean, this thing's gone down over $10 in the last couple days. And even after this reverse split, I guess, everyone's thinking it's going to go, but it's just been so weak with the market conditions. And watching Roblox here under, let's see here, if it goes, oh yeah, it's under 28.80. So might take a trade here on Roblox. Looking for this to go to maybe 26.72 on Roblox. So probably going to look to take a put on Roblox. That expires today. So if anyone takes any trade, watch your size. And these expire today. Safety you can always do for next week. But I'm going to take the $28 puts on Roblox. They're 55 cents. So I'm gonna go into this trade as we speak.
Okay. Perfect.
Yeah.
Going into Roblox. What strike?
$28 RBLX. A $28 puts. They're 6.55, 55, 60 cents right now. So see where we
Got
can
it.
get filled here. Yeah.
Okay.
Those are going.
My daughter keep asking what's wrong with Roblox.
Filled at 58 on Roblox.
Yeah, certainly having a tough go of it. What's up, Sim?
Hey, what's up, guys? Good morning. How you doing?
Morning. Doing good. How about you?
Good. I shorted the shit out of SPY in the morning. That was good. Um, Looking to short this Tesla. I want to see if it tries to reclaim the 700 level, which is a big psych level for Tesla. So we'll look at some downside there here in a little bit. Other than that, really just watching the overall market tank. It's great. Making good money this morning. How about you guys?
Sounds like Vegas is in Roblox right now. I've mostly been focused on Tesla and SPY here this morning. Those have been the two main ones on watch. These Tesla puts have been all over the place. They're moving so quickly on the zero DDE. Looking at the 690 puts.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, I'm on Fidelity, so they don't allow 0DT except on SPY and SPX. So if I take these 650 puts, it'll be for June 17th expiration. I'm watching it for now. Not gonna take it
Gotcha.
just yet.
Also
Yeah,
taking a swing on IWM for 175 puts for June 17 at 193. So IWM puts are in play as well for me. Taking those for a swing, and I'll take it into the weekend probably on IWM.
perfect. Sim, do you think we see SPY back to 384 here?
First off, real quick, I'm gonna take Tesla puts right here. I'm in 650 puts June 17th. Yeah, I mean, I think that we're gonna see 87 today. We're dumping off pretty hard. We broke that 93 level pretty heavily with a lot of volume that came in. So I definitely think that we could see some more downside here. We look like crap across the board, to be honest. There's no strength anywhere. So, but I really, again, like I'm a price action trader, so I go based on that. What's to say that we can't get a huge bounce at that, either that 389 or that 390 level, and then we get a huge bounce to the upside. We just don't know. So I don't like to speculate, but definitely based on what I see on the price action right now, I think we see a larger sell-off that's coming.
So, any specific area of the market you think is going to see that larger sell-off, or across the board?
For me, just across the board. I mean, obviously on SPY and QQQ, I think that we see a larger sell-off there. I really want to see like a true pullback on SPY, another like 5 points or so. But we're down pretty big right now, so I really just want to see what happens here at that low of that 390. If we could get that, well, not today's low, but if we could get that that break under that 390, I definitely think that we see that 387 today.
Got it. Yeah, that would be a little bit crazy how fast it came back down, but makes sense because we just had this whole consolidation period and everything was getting so tight, and then you get the catalyst. Next thing you know, you're just flying down. There's also a lot of short-term bearish premium. I see $12 million in puts set to expire over the next 2 weeks on SPY. So definitely, I mean, there wasn't a whole lot of bullish activity, is the way I'll put it. Maybe like 1 or 2 million versus like $7 or $8 million of puts that were just sitting here. And I'm just talking about stuff within the next few weeks. All right, let's see what else. Vegas, what else is on your radar? So you're inside of Roblox puts.
Yeah, I'm gonna hold these puts because sometimes these trades trigger and then they're like, oh, it's reversing right now, but I'm gonna wait because sometimes later in the day they just go the direction that I'm intending it for it to go. So I'm just gonna be patient. It's still very, very early in the day, so I'm just gonna be patient on this trade working. And I am watching Docu because Docu's on the watch list, but it has to break $70 to go into calls on DOCU. Not gonna short this at all. It looks a little very strong actually. Looks like it's trying to reverse and break 70. If it does, then I'll go into calls, but not ready to short this unless it went under like $64. So I'm just gonna wait. So I'm just watching that one right now. Docu. But social media stocks look weak today. I mean, so many things are weak today. But I just want to go in trades that have channels that can get to the targets I'm looking for. I had some swings from yesterday, so I mean, I'm pretty much done. I don't really have to trade for the rest of the day. Pretty much, could wrap it up. But I'm, just trading right now. I just have Roblox open, the IWM puts that I just mentioned, and have an Amazon put from this morning that we took as well. The 113.25s. We paid $130.31 for them, and now they're around $3.15. So I still have those ones because there's still weakness on that, and you could see Apple still showing weakness too. So I'm not. Yeah, I'm not comfortable with the market saying, "Oh, it's going to reverse now." Still seeing weakness across the board. So for now, still sitting in those puts. I did take a Boeing call earlier because there was some headlines about no more COVID test prior to traveling. Mentions by the Biden administration, and there was some volume surging in the airline stocks, and so I did go into a Boeing call, but then I closed it because it went below low of day, so I took a loss on that one. So other than that, not really in anything else right now. Just the two I mentioned, Roblox puts and the Amazon that I have from this morning that is still open, the 113.25 puts.
Got it. Sim, did you end up playing Amazon this week?
Yeah, I played on Monday. After that, I didn't play that shit. Just because I hate it. I hate I hate it after the stock split. The volatility is just not there for me, unfortunately. But that's okay. I mean, I think it'll get back to where it needs to be, but I mean, just obviously not yet. I think I really hate I hate the spreads, to be honest. I just the liquidity and it's just not there for me anymore, to be honest. So I've been kind of in a little rotation on tech. I've been trading. I trade Tesla almost every day, but I've been trading a lot of Google, a lot of Shopify. Remember that Shopify has a catalyst for stock split as well. Same with Google. So I've been really focused on those mainly, and then obviously SPX and SPY. Also, if you're in this Tesla short with me, you're up a good $100 a contract here. If you took 0 day to expiration, you're up like 45% here. So it's pretty good so far.
Awesome. Good to see that running. Yeah, I'm still watching the 0D to E ones, but I think you went a little bit farther out too with the 650s. Wow, just red across the board. Not a whole lot of green. It's interesting because we're kind of used to, I think, seeing oil and tech move in some opposite directions. But, well, I guess Oxy's pretty flat today. It's not exactly coming down. MRO down a little bit. Chevron down a little bit. Yeah, I guess oil's not going to hit so bad. Just a slight pullback. Kim, do you have any thoughts on kind of what's happening here with CPI and anything else around that? Did you take anything into that?
Yeah, like I said, I took the Amazon puts at 110, but then sold calls, so I didn't pay for the trade. So however, I go farther out than, some of the, 0DT day traders. Though I'd love to be good at trading 0 DTE. It's just not what I'm as good at. So I usually go 30 to 45 days out. So my Amazon 110 puts are for July. But then, like I mentioned before, I sold the July calls against it, against my stock. I also took Marvel today. So the puts that I have for that are the 52 puts for July 8th. It had a big run up after its earnings. And now, the semiconductors are showing weakness again. So I took those puts. And also, what's had a really big run is, I'm looking for things that have had huge runs. UPS had a really big run, and so had FedEx. So I did some bear spreads against those. So typically with a bear spread, I will sell a call and then buy the call, do a call spread, and then buy a put. So I have that on UPS right now because it had had a huge run up. So I had sold the 185 calls, bought the 200, and then bought the 175 puts. So obviously everything um, that I had done after these run ups is coming in nicely today. I also had a butterfly on SPX at the 3750 was the body of the butterfly. I don't do a lot of butterflies, but sometimes on the bigger, larger price products, they're nice to do. I had paid $440 for that, and it's up $1,000 right now today with the plunge. So I'll probably pull that off. That was for June 17th.
Okay, got it. Yeah, interesting strategy there. I appreciate you laying it out once more, how you played around Amazon. Sim, how interesting would it be to see Amazon under $100 a share here?
Dude, I would load up pretty heavy if we could get there. Actually, one of my target points to kind of start adding is around that 108-ish level. I actually have a portfolio that I'm building for my niece, so I'd like to start adding around that area. When I add in, when I'm scaling in, it's usually like 33%, 33%, 33%. So, slowly start adding some position there. But definitely, I think like long term, we're definitely going to see Amazon back in the 150 range, even that 175 range, which would be equivalent to close to about 3,400 per share, which is kind of where we came from, right? Originally. But I definitely think that $100 level would be freaking prime. I just don't know if we'll get there. We sold off pretty hard today. We're down like 5% or so. We broke underneath that 118 level that 118 level yesterday got to 116, and then today we see this large sell off right here just across the board. But that one under that 100 level, definitely an awesome time to pick up some heavy shares. But I just don't know again if we'll get there.
Yeah, absolutely. Still a bit of ways to go. Stacky, have you been still living in the OTC markets? What's been lately the move for you?
No, I've been out the OTC markets and trading mostly options since probably November.
What are you trading options on lately?
Well, I mean mostly puts. But I like SPY, and my kids are yelling at me because it's summertime.
Yeah, that's fair. No worries. Okay, I think that there's some interesting pieces here to the audience. If anybody's interested in asking questions, feel free to go ahead and request. Happy to bring people up. Ask some questions to the panel. Get some insights on different areas here. We're kind of starting to chop around a little bit. What's your inclination here, Sim in Vegas, on where we're going with SPY here?
Big bounce across the board right now. Let's see. That 390 level for me is very crucial. Really need a break underneath that. Technically under 389.85 is really what I want to see for some continuation to the downside. Um, for something like this, I mean, it is a great idea to short the little pumps that we see, but especially on 0 days, I'm really, really careful when it comes to holding a really tight stop loss because, we could see dip buyers heavily come in and take advantage of that 391.7 level again too. This weird little range that we're in, ideally over 391.7, we may see some upside. Let's just say 392. And then under this 389.85, definitely going to see some downside. So that's like the range that we're trading in right now. If you're going to play 0 day to expiration, that's a pretty large range. And whenever it's a range like that, you want to have a tighter stop loss. But a little more risky, obviously, playing zero DTE in a range like this. You really want to be able to see some clear upside or downside before doing that. So that's what I'm kind of waiting for. If I see strength come in, you could go ahead and wait for a little pullback, and then we'll take it on a bounce. But if I see that weakness come in, then we'll definitely take it, off of a rejection for a short. which is what I'm actually looking to do here in a little bit. So I got the SPX puts loaded. I'll be taking the 3,900 puts. Today's expiration. Just want to see what happens here, if we're gonna see that true supply come in here, which it looks like it's coming in pretty hard, and we might see that break underneath that 390. So got those puts loaded, just haven't entered yet, but as soon as I do, I'll make sure I announce it.
Perfect. Appreciate that. What's the tail of the tape look like today on SPY?
Ugly. It looks like still, to me, very weak. The SPY is definitely, in my opinion, going to be going lower. That's why I have swing on SPY as well. I won't be surprised. SPY, the targets I have 385 for a potential target here. And that is based on, from yesterday, I took a SPY put for 385, and we're very well on our way there. I just don't really see the market, reversing just yet. I think still a lot of selling pressure to the downside still. There might be some little channels where we'll see short little reversals, but we're seeing weakness. Look at Apple wants to make low of the day. Microsoft's looking weak as well. We are seeing some strength right now in the commodities, GLD and SLV, and gold, GOLD, and GDXJ is going as well. So we're watching silver for a potential swing trade if it can get over $21. It's not there yet. It's got a lot of work to do. Comments also out from Goldman Sachs mentioning that they now expect the Fed to hike the funds rate by 50 basis points in September versus the 25 basis points previously, in addition to 50 basis point moves in June and in July. Mentioning now from Carl Q on CNBC, comments from Goldman Sachs. So not too sure. You could see here the market, the gold commodities are popping. But still very weak, I think, in the indices on those ETFs. Not really seeing any strength just yet. So for now, still in the bear territory, and trading with the bears and feasting with the bears too. So definitely going to hold the puts.
Got it. Perfect. I'm looking at the tape right now. I don't know if you're watching the flow, but on DAL, on Delta, you mentioned that you took a call on Boeing, right?
Yeah, I did earlier in the morning off the airline news, and then closed it for a loss. So Boeing, I closed it.
All right. Well, this is a big order. Otherwise, I might not even be talking about this. But 6 minutes ago, somebody came in and they bought $2 million worth of calls on Delta. They bought them out of the money. Yeah, this is big. So someone just came in on Delta. They bought the $38 strike for July 15th, $2 million of premium. Looks like they also sold the July 15th $41 calls for $1 million of premium. So it looks like they did those back to back.
Well, you know what? Airlines are definitely going to be one to watch. Maybe today's not their day, but definitely, I'd love to see the airlines have a nice reversal. I think still, out of all the COVID stocks out there, I think the airlines are still suffering the most. But now that we have some of these travel restrictions, being lifted, it would be really nice to see some of those stocks make a comeback. And definitely Delta Airlines is one of my favorite stocks to trade. I love trading the options on that one because when it goes, it goes. I really would love to just see Delta Airlines. I would like to see it break like $40 for me to go really long on this one. So definitely it's on my watch. And that's a great one that you caught as well. So definitely going to be looking at those levels and keeping an eye on it for sure for potential move down the road, because for July that sounds pretty good.
It does, right? I don't see premium this size usually coming in too.
No, me neither. So that's great.
They bought 15,000 contracts. Like somebody's got money here.
Someone's got some cash, and they're definitely expecting a comeback in the travel for sure. And you said 15,000 contracts? That's a lot. That's a
They bought
lot of contracts.
15,214 contracts.
Wow. Well, definitely going to be watching Delta. I mean, definitely it's on everyone's watch. It's a great one to trade, by the way, if it ever makes that move. My gosh, it's a great one to trade. When it moves, this thing goes. And so I love trading Delta for sure. It's one of those, it's almost like trading like a Tesla. It moves really fast. So I love trading it when it goes. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean the IV's not bad on those. The Delta, the Theta, nothing. I mean they look fine. So I think it's pretty interesting to see someone come in. Vivi, I see you in the crowd. Would love to get you up here if possible. Shot you an invite. Let me know if you need any help getting up. Just feel free to shoot a DM over. All right, interesting with those. Sim, any thoughts on Delta here?
No, not in particular. I don't really trade airlines that much. I'm a big BA trader, but in recent times I haven't been one. So, but I love Vegas's analysis. I mean, it's so freaking thorough. So if anybody's listening to that, that's like free game right there, what she just gave out. Phenomenal.
Thank you,
Love
Miss
it.
Sim.
What's up, Vivi?
Hi, you guys. How's everybody doing?
Hi, Miss Vivi. How are you?
Hello.
What's happening in biotech
Oh my
land?
God,
What's going on with you? What are you trading? Because I know you've been trading options. So tell us what you're
I'm
doing.
trading SPY puts. I'm up $700 today, which is not bad.
Woo!
Yeah, I mean, I don't like how the economy is going, but I like there's a clear direction in the market. You know, like the beginning of the morning yesterday was so choppy. You know, so choppy. It was so hard to trade. And then obviously close to lunch, you know, close to closing, you know, it dived like 7 points. But at least today we have some clear direction. I'm still holding, you know, just a little bit of my puts because I mean VIX is almost at 29 and it's not slowing down. So I think that I'm still holding my puts, just 30% of what is left. Yeah, that's it. I'm just being cash every single day. This market's too crazy to be swinging anything, to be honest with you guys. But I feel like there's a lot of opportunity in biotech for sure. I would have just stay focused with the companies that actually produce revenue and rare disease, you know, that can produce a lot of revenue with doesn't need a lot of patients to produce revenue. So there's a lot of companies out there that we can invest and still have a 60-70% upside. So, but for now, I'm just trading the dailies because it's this market's too crazy.
Got it. So what have you been trading on the dailies? Any specific names?
SPY. I've just been trading SPY.
Which strikes?
It all depends. I mean, today I had the 391s. Yesterday I had a 406. I mean, today I'm made some money on the 391s and I'm holding just like 2 calls because VIX have not slowed down. So I am just watching what it's gonna do here and then cut my losses if but it's still very far away from trying to go anywhere. So I feel like we're gonna go further down. What do you guys think? Just based on what VIX is right now.
I think we're coming back to 384. What do you think, Vegas?
Yeah, you know what? I'm looking down like this to me. Definitely agree with you. Like 385, 384. Won't be surprised to see it go down. I mean, even though you're seeing sometimes these little reversals, they're like very short lived. I mean, if you look at them, they're only lasting sometimes a couple minutes, if that. And then, you know, you can get tricked because you're like, oh, I'm in puts. And now you're seeing a reversal. But, you know, the market, I mean, you could see here, even these large cap FANG stocks, they're just all looking ugly. So, yeah, definitely. I definitely don't see right now an opportunity for calls unless you're a quick scalper. But I mean, that's just not me. I know Sim's really good at scalping fast. She's like super duper on that. But I know right now she's in puts and rightfully so.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. I think we're all kind of in the same boat of feeling that it's coming back. When you look at the VIX, Vivi, what kind of how do you go about reading the VIX? What does it mean to you? Because it seems like it's been naturally elevated for a while now.
I like to, obviously it's almost at $30. I it's because I trade in a 5 minutes, and I look at a VIX, and if I start seeing VIX going down, like in what I watch, it's always like I see the VIX up, and then the VIX take a dive down, and then the SPY tries to bounce a little. So when I don't see a single red candle on VIX, it gives me the confidence to hold my puts, if that makes any sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think that does make sense. Are you typically also trading anything around the VIX, like a UVXY or anything else?
No, no. I. It depends on like the price. I love sometimes scalping apples too. Depends on the price of the premium. You know what I mean? Sometimes you get more for your buck. I definitely don't do Tesla because it's so expensive, to trade Tesla. So it's you put a lot at risk just with one call. So I don't trade Tesla. I don't trade Tesla because it's too expensive for me.
Got it. Yeah, it definitely does move a lot. Was looking at those Tesla puts this morning. Okay, I hear it. Looks like we're getting a little bit of a pump up right here and from a couple of pieces, but could be a little head nod fake out. I do see Tesla starting to come back a little bit. What do you think, Kim?
Well, I just went long MNQ, the futures. So we'll see. I think I told you guys my husband used to be a futures trader. And so he really thinks this is overdone right now. He's usually right, but there's always that 5% of the time that he's not. So I just took a long MNQ. I'm not saying anyone follow me in that, but I'll. He just called me a floor trader. I'm not really a floor trader, but I saw that it was kind of bottoming out there, and but also I think if you're looking at long-term strategies, Sim mentioned that she was starting to where she would get long Amazon, building her niece's account. And I think that's a really important thing to keep in mind right now is thinking about like if you are, I'm a long-term investor, but then I also do trade around my positions, right? So I do both. And it's like, where is the place that I want to start getting more long and I want to start adding to my positions? And, Amazon's a really good example of that. Sim said she thought it was going to go back to 150 at some point. And, if it goes back up there, if you start getting in around 108, especially if it gets down to 100, I agree with Sim. Buyers are going to be coming in. And, this is the time to start thinking about where do I want to start getting long? It doesn't mean you're going to put everything, into Amazon or into some of these beaten down stocks, but you're starting to slowly buy. And, long term, markets go up, right? So eventually the Fed will need to stop raising rates. And the minute that they do, you're going to see this market up 2,000 points. Let's not forget in 2008, or I think it was 2009, it was up 15% in a day. So while, I have a lot of cash on the side and I want to start putting my money to work. So part of that is going to be adding to some of these beaten down positions. And I would definitely add Amazon down in the 100, 105 range. AMD, amazing company. Lisa Sue's one of my favorite CEOs. AMD's not going anywhere. So can you get it cheaper? You might be able to, but at some point I want to start adding to that. So also indexing, if you don't want to be in a single stock, I have a friend who went all in cash in her 401k, kind of towards the top. She's not a trader. But what I said to her is I said, you're getting the Qs at a 30% discount. When are you going to start getting back in? If you don't start getting back in now, you're not going to start getting back in when it goes down 50%. So she was out near the top. It's like, well, you need to start putting your money back to work. So that doesn't mean you don't take pain further on the downside, but at some point you need to start looking at, or I personally need to start looking at, where am I going to start getting long? So I really liked your thinking on that, Sim, because you're absolutely correct. At some point buyers are coming in. And my future's a little underwater, but I'll be in it for a while today.
So my question with Amazon here is, a lot of us are trading off technicals, and at what point do we kind of divorce a little bit of the technicals from, fundamentals? Right now, Amazon clearly in a downtrend and kind of returning into this downtrend. And if it was to break below those previous lows, right above kind of $100 per share, someone like a typical technical analyst might look at it and say, descending 50-day, descending 200-day, way underneath all of our anchored VWAPs, breaking to new lows. Why is this a good time to add? Versus the fundamental side, which says, this is a good long-term hold. So I'm curious, how do you kind of balance those two pieces?
For me, if it comes to buying stocks, right? Obviously the technicals do matter, but if I'm not day trading it and I'm looking for a long-term investment, I'm more looking at, what is a good price to get in and where would buyers start coming in. So if I'm looking for it long term, I'm probably just for myself not looking as much at the technicals. I'm looking at the fundamentals of the company and where do I think that it can go long term. But again, if I get into Amazon at the 105, 100 level, I'd love to see it at 100. I wouldn't be deploying everything in Amazon, right? For me, I would probably buy 100 shares of it. So I'd buy $10,000 of it. And then possibly do a buy right, buy the share, sell a call against it. So I'm reducing my cost basis on it. But short-term trades, definitely the technicals are what matters. Just like with this MNQ trade, I was, trading it based off where it was at technically on the 5-minute chart. I think you just have to ask yourself, who are you as a trader? And then there's that psychological component. As I mentioned last time, my actual day job is, I'm a counselor and work at a university. So, when everybody's selling, technicals can sometimes go out the window, right? If you're thinking of the long term. And so psychologically, when everybody's selling, that's a time when I want to come in and start buying, at least in small amounts. And I'm 50% cash right now. And that's a big position for someone that's a long-term investor. So I'm really chomping at the bit. I've been putting a little bit of money to work. I bought some Microsoft when it was that day that we had that huge down move a few weeks ago. I bought some Costco at about 406. Bought a little bit of NVIDIA. So if we get another flush again, I'm definitely going to be looking at places to put money to work long term.
Okay, perfect. Got it. And when you're looking long term, what's does that mean 5 years to you, 10 years? Or is it just kind of, hold and verify type situation?
2 to 5 years, usually.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, I'm looking, we've already had a drawdown about on the Qs of 30%, maybe 25% where it's at right now. So, if you just look at long term, where do markets go? Up. So, and also I'll be looking to index. I'm actually out of a lot of my indexes when the market moved up and I need to index again. The other thing that I really love if you're looking at long terms is indexing, you could buy the different indexes within the SPY, right? Like the XLK, that's gotten really beaten up, or the, semiconductors, the SMH. If you don't want to get in a single stock and you want to be, more protected, You can also look at those different sectors within the indexes. So SMH has gotten really beaten up, the XLK. And, sometimes when we're in a downtrend, those might be better options to index in versus buying the single stocks.
Yeah, absolutely. There's definitely a lot of value in just taking a look at the overall indexes and gaining exposure. Well, not just through the indexes, but through the actual sectors and looking at those. I remember when XLE and XLF, nothing hotter. So absolutely a great way to get, some exposure without having to pick individual names.
Mm-hmm.
Tim, what about you? Approach to kind of Amazon. Would you be buying it long term at those lower levels?
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, for my niece's portfolio, that's one of the stocks that I'd like to put in for a long-term investment. But ideally, I want to see that 108-ish level to kind of start adding. I still think that we see some more downside. We got that bounce off of SPY's low, and now we're seeing some upside here. But ideally, in this type of climate, personally, I'm going to be shorting these pumps. I think that we still see some more downside. Like I said earlier today, I think we have potential to see that 387-ish level. I don't think this is any type of indication of true upside just yet. I think that honestly, I could not wait for the CPI to be over. This has been a really tough 3 days of trading, and the levels that we're seeing right now, and the type of price action that we're seeing right now, it's really hard in a market like this. Even as a scalp trader, it's very tough to be able to catch good moves and see continuation in the market. But I think around that 108-ish level is where we're going to see some big buyers step in and be able to take advantage of that dip buy opportunity. So around that area, that 108-ish level. Below that, yeah, I'll definitely see 105 as well. But when you're building a long-term portfolio or when you're adding positions, you really want to scale in accordingly. You don't want to just go ahead and if you're gonna be, let's say you're gonna be buying 1,000 Amazon shares, you don't want to just jump in with a full 1,000 amount. You really want to scale in. Give yourself opportunity to be able to average down, potentially get a better average, assuming there's a sell-off in the market. The climate that we're seeing right now, definitely when you see some more downside or potential for more downside, you want to scale in accordingly as well. So that's really my take on Amazon. It's really that 108 level, but even if I don't see that today, I might just want to wait a couple of days. This is the first week since the split, so typically you're going to see some sort of consolidation. So we may see some consolidation at this level, or let's say whatever we close at end of day, and then we may see a big move up to the upside or the downside, one or the other. But again, scaling in is really everything. If you're an investor, if you're coming into the market, if there's one thing that I could have told my my newer self at trading or newer at investing, it would have been to learn to scale in and scale in accordingly.
Got it. Awesome. Well, I appreciate you sharing that advice. Looks like we have a couple questions. Mendo, what's up?
Yo, yo, yo. Hey, appreciate y'all letting me come up to speak. I love the space, man. This is actually my first time, joining like a financial talk space. And I love the vocabulary. I love everybody, putting their opinions in. And I wanted to go off Sim, what she said, scaling in, scaling out. And what Kim said, when she said, TA kind of goes out the window and it goes to fundamentals. And I think, fundamentals go out the window sometimes, and it really comes down to TA. So, Sam, what you said, yeah, I really agree with you. You don't want to put all your eggs in one basket because there is a lot of manipulation. So nobody really knows when to get in and when to get out. But my question was, I'm hearing a lot of stocks and stuff like that. What do y'all think about crypto?
So, what do I think about crypto right now or long term?
Just in general, right now and in long term.
Well, I've been in crypto for a very long time, so I can tell you that crypto isn't going anywhere. Neither blockchain technology. So, you know, I started to dollar cost average into some of my positions because crypto's been pretty much holding on. I know we have some bills in the working. Um, am I bullish on the bills? No, I hate any kind of bills. No, but yeah, when it comes to crypto, but a lot of people are asking for regulation, and this is probably what they're going to get. Um, long term, I've been looking at kind of the exchange tokens. Again, I talk about exchange tokens and tokens that have been around and show and proved through multiple bear markets that they stand firm. For example, Bitcoin, Ethereum, tokens like that. Crow, because they are centralized and backed by a lot of big corporations, which is something that we don't want in the crypto space. But again, it's the safe bet where you're parking a ton of your money. So, you know, the degen in me always wants to go to the Web3 assets like Mana and Sand, but and Gala. But the safer side of me always wants to stay with the Bitcoin and Ethereum. I also been looking into HBAR a little bit more, but yeah, so far as crypto short term, if we break underneath, or actually around this area, then we can see, of course, way lower. Somebody just asked me about Ethereum because of the NFTs. I think I see the 13,000 level. I mean, the 1,300 level. Well, we might see that again. More than likely, it's very highly. So, so far short term for crypto, but long term crypto, I'm still long crypto. I'm still long metaverse Web3 or whatever you want to call it. No, thank you. So I'm still long term cryptocurrency. What about you?
Totally. I mean, I agree with you. You know, if something we don't settle right here and get about a new high or something like that, I see 1,300, 1,400, 100%. Long term, yeah, 100%. I'm bullish in crypto and in the Web3 space. You know what I'm saying? I'm in an actual NFT project that's tied with Ethereum and gives you passive income and stuff like that. And the tokenomics are backed by real estate. So that's a really cool thing. But yeah, man, crypto to me, I've been looking into nodes as well. I'm trying to get more educated on that. But yeah, I just wanted to get others' infos on, what they think about crypto, man, because I've been hearing
Awesome.
a lot of rah-rah.
Awesome, Endo. Appreciate you coming up and asking the question and the love for the space. Hope you have a good rest of your Friday as well. Mency, what's going on?
Yeah, I was just listening to you guys. For crypto, you guys should invest. There's this. I forgot the list name. It's like a list of XRP, Stellar, like that they're gonna use in the future.
I'm gonna bring this one back to the stock market if that's okay. Do you have any questions kind of on stocks right now?
No, I mean, not really. No, just I'm a forex trader, forex indices, so no, not in stocks. Yeah.
Okay, no worries, God, appreciate it. I do see this market starting to go a little bit lower here. I'm curious for Vegas, Sim, Kim, Stacky. Are any of you taking any further puts? I see those Roblox puts are at entry. I see Tesla puts kind of are at entry as well. Sim?
I'm gonna be taking. I was actually kind of waiting. I was waiting for SPY to hit that 392.7 ish level, so I could short the shit out of it. So I'm gonna wait for that level to come up. It hasn't yet. It almost kind of hit it. I mean, I could have taken it at maybe point 0.5. 20 cents off from my actual target on that, but um again, I still think that we see some more downside. I think that this market is overall there's a lot of weakness in a lot of the bigger names as well. I really think that we break 3,900 on SPX today. So what I'm gonna be doing, again, I hate to speculate. I'm really going based off of the tape at this point, though, and I'm going based off of the buy orders that I see that are coming in. Overall, we just see a lot of weakness, a lot of thin buying, just not enough to hold the market up. I see a lot of sellers coming in heavily. So I'm going to be waiting here for a little bit. I want to see what SPY does in the next couple of minutes, and then I'll be shorting it. And that's a position I'm going to be holding for a while. It's going to be more of a day trade than anything, just because I see some more downside. But if you don't want to take 0 days, you don't have to. I'm looking for the obviously the risk to reward. It's very risky playing 0 day to expiration, so please manage your risk when it comes to that. Your risk profile may be different from mine, and that's okay. But like I said, really want to see some more downside, but ideally I want to go ahead and short the next pump that we have if we see that happening. If we do, I'll announce it, but when it comes to exit, unless I see some heavy downside come in out of nowhere, my exit's really not going to be anytime soon. It's going to be more of a day trade.
Okay, got it. Yeah, definitely let us know if you enter into any of those positions. I'm also watching Sark. It's kind of cruising today. We were talking about this yesterday on one of our spaces. If Sark was a good hedge going into CPI, and it seems like it is. It's up 6.4% on the day, coming back up to not quite its all-time highs at 77.4, but not far off from them, less than $10 off. What about you, Vegas?
Yeah, just sitting here tight with these Amazon puts, haven't budged. And we had some dark pool come in, just so you guys know, on Amazon. So I know, Sim, you might get that 108. If it goes below 108.75, we're going to see more downside. And I know Kim was mentioning she won't be surprised to see Amazon potentially head down to 100. Maybe not, obviously not today, but over the coming sessions, potentially. So definitely there'll be more volatility to the downside if it gets under 108.75, which it could go under 108.75 today. So if it does go below 108.75 today, we'll definitely see more volatility on Amazon. We are starting to see some green, a little bit of green on Roblox, and watching Docu, because remember I said I might consider Docu if it breaks 70. Well, now it keeps going lower here. So if it gets under 64, then I will be going into puts for Docu. If it triggers under $64. So that's the one I'm watching right now. And I'm still holding Amazon puts, Roblox puts, and I still have SPY puts for next week. I have IWM puts, which I mentioned earlier that I'm in for next week, the ones for the 175s for June 17. So I'm in those. And QQQ as well. So just sitting here and just writing the channels, because until I see confirmation that we're starting some serious reversals here, then I will start closing out. But for now, the weakness is still evident, and so for now, while it's still present, I'll still hold these positions because there's no reason to just close them up right now. Obviously, yes, close and take profits along the way, of course. Everyone should be doing that. But for now, I will definitely be holding these puts longer while the channels are still there and showing weakness, because that's the best time to profit is, in the right channels and on weakness. So just sitting here, no reason to rush. If anyone took the IWM puts that we mentioned earlier, they are the 175s for June 17. We mentioned them around $1.93. They're currently 206 right now, so they'll start printing in no time. I am just targets on IWM. Someone asked me on Twitter, target on IWM for the swing. What I'm looking for there, and this is why I'm going to swing it. I am looking for this to head towards 170. So I have the 175 puts. I'm looking for this to head towards 170 between now and maybe next week. So I will take it when it presents itself, but that's the target I'm looking for, and definitely would close this out if IWM probably got over 190. So not going to be closing it up anytime soon. So for now, puts are the ones I'm in right now. And also I want to just comment, if I can, on Kim's comment with regards to, she talked about longer term investing, and I love what she was talking about. Can you hear me, Gav? Yeah?
Yep.
Okay, so I just want to comment. I love Lisa Su, love AMD as well, and I think there's great opportunities there. I love that one, and the other ones to keep in mind for long term, to watch for undervalued stocks that are going to probably have some momentum later this year. And these are undervalued stocks. I know there's lots of undervalued stocks everywhere with huge potential, but the thing is, my top three, I would say, or at least top two. For sure, AMD. I don't need to add more to what Kim said. She just said it beautifully. But I just want to comment. Roku also definitely one of the one of the undervalued stocks as well. Continues to grow their streaming business and definitely has room for a lot more upside. So definitely another one to look at that's undervalued. And one other one that maybe I'm not sure a lot of people have heard of. It's one called Tyler Technologies, TYL, and it is one of the less well-known, profitable $14.23 billion large cap software companies focused on the public sector, and their technologies has seen very strong sales forecast of 456 million, grew by 55% in the first quarter. A lot of organic growth in at their best in 5 years, and definitely that's one to watch for sure. It is definitely undervalued as well. So TYL is another one to just even have it on a watch list for future growth, just to keep an eye on this one for future opportunities. When the market's pulled back, I mean, you want to buy those dips if you are you have a long-term investing horizon. 2 to 5 years. These stocks can do very well for a lot of people. So, I mean, I love AMD. Anytime it's under $100, I love AMD. And it's sad to see it under 100, but I mean, whenever it is under 100, I always view it as like, wow, that's a strong buy every time it gets under $100. So definitely great opportunities. Of course, it's going to go lower probably with this volatility in the market. So if you can get a much better price, absolutely, but definitely keep it on watch and take advantage of some of these opportunities for some very undervalued stocks that have good cash flow, great CEO like Lisa Su, great revenue, great everything. And just right now, the pullbacks are just, a lot of, overreaction and things like that. But, take advantage. I mean, it's to your advantage to buy. You'll love buying when they're down, and then you sell, when they go up. So you don't want to buy them at the top. So good especially for investing, but definitely, yeah, keep that one on watch too. TYL as well is a good one.
Perfect. Appreciate that. Yeah, AMD under 95 now and falling. Pretty crazy. We are seeing just a flush across the board as we talk now. SPY about to come back to its low of the day. I'm just watching on the 5-minute chart right here. Good Lord. People are getting bearish on SPY here just based on the options. I mean, it's just a sea of red for the next month, 2 months. Now, obviously, people could put these on and take them off on a rather quick basis, but it is not pretty there. All right, we're going to do about 14 more minutes here. I'll have my next space on in 14 more minutes. Stack, you should definitely stay on for that next space, and others if interested. We're bringing back on the Only Gems team. It's probably my favorite Web3 project that I've ever done a space with. So they're going to come back in 14 minutes, and we're going to have like a bunch of people joining us. Homar's Catalog, Dan Burke, John, what's it called, from Balcony DAO. Just could be a whole team. So stay tuned for that. But let's get to more live trading in here. What's up, Kim?
I'm curious how people think that quad witching will affect the markets at the end of the day. So that's what I'm a little bit cautious of with having massive long puts, which I do have on right now, because, and that's why mine are a little further out, because sometimes that quad witching, it can flip the market. I'm curious what other people think about that on the panel.
Yeah, for sure.
Or is that
Vegas.
today or is that next week? Am I a week ahead of myself?
Yeah, I think quad witching is next week.
Oh, I know. As I was saying that, I'm like, wait a second. That's actually the 7th. That's the monthlies.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
never mind. Scratch that.
All right.
Right now on my futures trade, I told you guys I took MNQ. I'm down 100, but I was also short the M2K, the Russell. So I'm basically up 300 on that and down on my long on M&Q. Checked in with my husband. He said, hold it, keep buying. Well, I'm not adding to it, but
I love how you guys trade together. That's so cute.
yeah, I mean, he was, 20 years with, that's what he did was the SPY futures. That's all he did. And he worked for a bank. And so he really knows the technicals really, really, really well. So I checked in with him. Should I get out? He's like, no, buy more. And I'm like, no, that's okay. So, but I'm playing for that we might get a bounce on this. So, but like I said, I have the other side on. I've had the M2K short for a little bit here. I scaled into that when the market bounced. So that's came in nicely today. So not too worried about it because I have the other side of the trade on.
Yeah, going into quad witching next week, Sim, Vegas, Kim, Stacky, are you all doing anything different?
I'm not doing anything different, but I will say sometimes it's craziness, right? Because it's so volatile. So the only thing usually on quad witch day, sometimes you can have an amazing day. We're like, oh my god, amazing day, but sometimes just too volatile. So sometimes when it's quad witch, if I trade, which usually I am trading, I do smaller size just because it's just too volatile. So I just do a smaller size, and sometimes I haven't even done same day. I'll do like the week after because just too crazy. So I mean, sometimes it's quad witch will be okay, and some days it's like really crazy. So, but I will say one of the best ones to trade on quad witch is Apple, and usually Apple doesn't behave that day, goes down, and that's probably the best one to trade for the whole day. So I just really will try to stay concentrated on quad witch day on a put and just stick with Apple and just basically trade it the whole day, like just leave it, buy it, and just leave it and let it go the whole day and just let it run down and collect the money and then close up your day. So just like what we're doing today, just let it go and just let it run. So definitely doing that with Amazon. You can see weakness. IWM's going lower and our puts are printing. Nvidia is going down. Really interesting. What stands out to me today is I'm really surprised Netflix is holding up. What is going on over there? I don't know. Netflix is not pulling back like these other stocks. Like Roku's making new lows. Microsoft, is making new lows. Amazon's weak. Boeing's making new lows. But Netflix is just kind of Netflix and chill right there. It's not doing anything. Very weird. That one's behaving really weird. It's not doing anything to the downside. It's so weird. It's just like sitting there, chilling.
Yeah, interesting. I hadn't really looked at Netflix just yet today. Let's see. Yeah, well, I mean, it is down almost 5%, isn't it?
Oh, it's down, but I mean, in terms of like a comparison, I'm just looking at that comparing to let's say Roku. I mean, Roku just keeps going, over 8%, and Netflix about 4.6, and
Right.
it's just nowhere
Hold it up.
near. Yeah, it's just so weird.
Yeah.
Very interesting observation.
How about Upstart? All the way back 36. And it's just coming down. You see this week on Upstart? Look at the 1 week.
Yeah, let me look at Upstart.
Upstart down 27% this week. So, all right. So, okay. So that I think it just got officially ended. I know that they were kind of putting out stuff about it, but I think it just passed the Biden thing for the airlines. I believe.
By the way, before we wrap up, too, I just want to mention. I know I mentioned Docu, under 64 would be bearish, and then over 70 would be bullish. So I need to see 70 break. I just want to mention that the Docu CEO is coming up on CNBC momentarily. So I don't know what he's going to say, but sometimes when these CEOs come on TV, the stocks just pop. So it'll be interesting if we see Docu pop and break 70. If it does, we'll definitely go into some calls on Docu. So just want to mention he's coming up on CNBC.
Would you not be a little bit? I mean, I typically just give it a few days after that drop off, but you're just saying kind of trade the catalyst right there.
Yeah, well, I have it on watch list today on Docu, and so I had it mapped out that if it goes over 70, it has a potential for a pretty good move to like 73, 75, around potential $5 move to the upside. So definitely not going to take it off my watch list, but it's had some serious volatility. So I don't know what he's going to say that could make this, reverse to the upside and break $70. That's definitely a resistance. So if that resistance breaks, then I'll be, taking a call in the money, and then just trading the channel because it should have momentum if it breaks $70. But I mean, I'm definitely not touching it unless that happens. But if he comes on TV, we'll see if it does anything to the stock. May not do anything. Sometimes they come on TV and it doesn't help. It doesn't help their stock. So we'll just definitely keep a watch on him.
Got it. Perfect. Okay. Interesting stuff. Still some movement here. Sim, what else are you watching? I see we're going lower here.
So I'm in SPX 3900 puts. I bought in at 1280. Today's expiration. So on a position like this in particular, again, you want to manage your risk, um, depending on what that is. With 0 data expiration, my risk profile on this, or at least my stop loss on this, is a lot wider than I normally would have, just because of the volatility and how these particular contracts move, right? So you may get a whatever 25-cent pump or whatever, and then it might burn off your contract a little bit. But that's why I'm trading something that's closer to the money. But I do think again that we see some more downside here. I don't think we're done dumping off yet. I'm really targeting that 387 level by end of day today. But I really need to see Apple die off pretty heavily as well. As of now, this is low volume hour. We're just kind of chopping around sideways action. But again, still see overall weakness in the market. So I'm in those at 1280, and they're the 3900 puts for SPX, today's expiration.
Okay. Perfect. All right. Watching those puts. I'm looking at SPY. If anybody, Sim, you lean SPX over SPY for the tax advantages?
Yeah, mainly because I pay a shit ton of money in taxes, so mainly for that. Also, I mean, this, if you want to like compare, I mean, the easiest way, I guess, that I would explain it, well, a lot of people are saying, why SPX? For me in particular, I trade a lot of Amazon, and to me, SPX is the Amazon of SPY. That's what I consider it to be. So, because it moves just like that. So, that's really the reason why, mainly that, but also mainly for tax purposes, because it actually counts towards long-term gains. At least a percentage of it does. So my tax guy was saying, hey, if to save a substantial amount, play SPX.
Got it. Makes sense to me. Okay. So about 4 or 5 minutes left here on this one. Airlines are going lower here as well, even though that news did come out. Delta just dropped about another 0.5%. So to the guy who has 2 million, or girl who has $2 million in that, good luck. It's about down 15% right now. Also, those Tesla puts are coming back up. This Tesla's trailing lower here. Tesla, not holding the $700 level, is now, I think we could say officially, kind of breaking below that and moving to the downside. Where's your next level on Tesla, Sim?
Did you say for Tesla?
Yeah.
Let's see.
Because this like 695 was my 695.5 was where I was looking to go short. I think that's pretty much exactly what happened today.
You need a 690 break to the downside, and then you might see underneath that. Well, you really need a technical 633.35 break. sorry, 688.35. If you see a 688.35 break, I think we see room down to technically 682 and then 680. Underneath 680, got some room to the downside. But Tesla's been holding today. I'm not gonna lie. Like in the morning, you saw that initial pump just right off the bat. Reclaimed that 700 level, flew all the way up, almost reclaimed that 720 level, which is usually for me would be a bullish indicator. But it came right back down and didn't give a shit. And now we're just gonna see a potential for some lower. But Tesla's one of those stocks that there's a lot of dip buyers that love coming in and taking advantage of this price. So we may see some downside, but then dip buyers come in really heavy and then take advantage of these cheap prices right now, or they consider these to be discounts. So Tesla's one of those that I don't really like shorting all too often. I'm still in some runners from yesterday on the space. I called out the 740 puts. I'm still in those. We're up really big on those. But other than that, I'm also still in that other position from earlier that I took, the 650 puts. Those are up as well. For now, I'm just holding those at a break-even stop loss. Really just letting my position from yesterday run and just banking off of those runners.
Perfect. Awesome. So we're right up at 11:19 here, so I'm just going to go around. Give a huge thank you to our panelists today, Kim, Stacky, Vegas, and Sim. A lot of really great knowledge and plays dropped in here. Want to just give each of you, final comments, and then anybody that wants to stay on for our next one's welcome. Again, for the audience, we have the Only Gems team coming up. This is a fantastic Web3 business revolving around the collectibles business and creating liquidity and marketplaces, but so much more than that. So, Vegas, any other remarks you'd like to share on this space before we transition?
No, I just want to wish everyone a great weekend, and I appreciate everyone coming to listen to the Women of Wall Street space. And thank you so much to the panel, Sam and Kim and Stack, and your gracious host, Gab, all the time. Love having you hosting us as well. And, my thoughts on the market really still seeing weakness, so I'm still going to hold these puts that I'm in. And, I still anticipate weakness probably even next week. Every day is a new day, but right now what I'm seeing is market is looking weak, and so I'm going to stick with these puts and not go into any calls at this time. Definitely a good watch on the commodities as well. Keep a watch on silver if it breaks $21. That's a really great swing setup. It has a move to about 23. So definitely keep a watch on the commodities, seeing some strength, and also seeing some strength, interestingly, right now on Walmart. So I'm going to be watching Walmart. That's so interesting. So, but for now, I'm going to hold these puts, holding Amazon puts still, the 113.25s, IWM puts for next week, holding those, the 175s for June 17, and Roblox, holding those puts for the day because that's been a little bit slow to move. Not sure which direction it's going to go, but I'm just going to hold for the day because sometimes the action comes very late in the day. We've seen it happen in the past with AMD puts. We take them and then there's no action. It's boring. Or Apple. Yesterday, same thing with Apple. It didn't really move. And then boom, at the end, like very late in the day, around 2:30, chaos. So just going to be patient with that one and see what happens with that trade. So other than that, bearish for now, and wish everyone a phenomenal weekend and look forward to seeing everyone on Future Spaces next week. So thank you so much.
Absolutely. Pleasure having you on, as always, Vegas. Sim, anything else you'd like to say?
That's it really. Like I said, I'm still holding these 3,900 puts. Still really think that we see some more downside and break that 3,900 on SPX and definitely see more downside from there. Ideally in climates like this, you don't have to be a part of a trade. Just remember that cash is always a position, and there's nothing wrong with sitting on cash until you see a solid opportunity. So remember that. Remember to have good risk management, good position sizing. I really can't wait for next week after the CPI, initial move is over. Definitely want to be able to see some sort of continuation. I know we have Feds coming up. With OPEC's coming up too, it's always important to be cognizant. For me, I typically size down, and I really just trade the volatility. So Volatility is going to be heavy in the morning, and then about the last hour or even half an hour into the close, you see some big moves in the market. So definitely something to be prepared for. But we still have a couple of days before that. So remember, cash is always a position, and always practice safe risk management and good position sizing.
Perfect. Thank you, Sim. Kim?
I couldn't agree more with the position sizing. I mean, I think that's one of the keys, um, especially in this type of market, is to make sure that you're just, you're keeping your position small. As Sim mentioned earlier, it's not like you're throwing, $100,000 into Amazon when you buy these stocks. You're buying, have a goal of how much you want to put into these two stocks. Amazon or Costco or AMD, and buy small. You could do a third, a third, a third, or I do more like 25% of what I want my total dollars to be in a given stock or the position to add to. And yeah, so trading small is good. I'm going to stay in the Amazon 110 puts, but again, those aren't to date. Those aren't the 0 DTE. I have those for July. So we'll be getting out if I see Amazon kind of hold below 108, 107. I'm looking more for about 105, to be honest with you. However, I won't mind pulling it off if I see Amazon, start showing support. But like was mentioned, there's no real support there right now. And I took the Tesla trade with you, Sim, and I took the Roblox trade with Vegas. So thanks you guys for those great trade ideas.
Yeah, we'll see that
Nice
how they go.
profits,
Tesla just made low day there too, Sim. So looks like it's going at 685.
I actually
Really
sold the
looks
call
good.
spread against it and then bought the put. So I did the call spread for 750, 770, and used some of that to buy the put. And I did that call spread out July 1st.
Love it. Love it. Some interesting plays there. Yeah, Tesla going lower. Those puts are still printing. All right, and Stacky dropped down. So I think we're going to go ahead and we're going to move on over this next one. But a big shout out and thank you to Vegas, Sim, Kim, and Stacky for being our speakers.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate